Watching ABC News, this is ABC Midday. I am Eric Chinibwamelo. Coming up in the headline. The Electoral Commission has defended its decision to recall its result in 9 constituencies, stating that such actions are not unprecedented. However, the NDC hits back, and we will have a conversation about this. Also, passengers lament over long waiting hours at some vehicle stations in Accra as Christmas travels heightens. Later in the bulletin, the Ghana Meteorological Agency has recommended the wearing of nose masks and use of air filters to guard against bad weather occasioned by the Harmattan season. We will look into this conversation. And in business, CAT International has urged consumers to prioritize their safety with festive season by remaining vigilant when purchasing food products. And later on the international front, Mozambique's Constitutional Council has upheld the result of the controversial October election, cementing the ruling Frelimo party's half-century grip on power. We settle for the details of these and more. Up next, do stay. Welcome back to the program. Once again, we're streaming live on YouTube, ABC News GH. I am Eric Chinibwamelo. This is the Christmas edition of the bulletin, and let's begin with some election-related news. The Electoral Commission (EC) of Ghana has defended its decision to recall its results in 9 constituencies after they were initially declared, stating that such actions are not unprecedented in the country's electoral history. In a tweet, the EC provided examples from previous elections where recollation led to changes in declared outcomes, stating the importance of ensuring accuracy and fairness in election results. Recollation after the declaration of result is not new, it stated. The EC's move to recollate the 9 constituencies result has sparked debate, with some questioning its timing and impact. However, the Commission insists that the recollation ensures the integrity of the electoral process and aligns with its mandate to deliver free, fair and credible elections. The EC statement highlights its resolve to prioritize accuracy even in the face of public scrutiny. It further underscores the recollation is a corrective measure aimed at addressing discrepancies and ensuring that declared results reflect the true will of the people. Let's look at the precedent of the recollation of results in the past, and we will project that on your screen for you to see in a jiffy. But generally, these are what the EC are based on to also defend. So, precedent of recollation of results after declaration. So, in 1998, according to the recent release by the EC, it says that during district level election in the Don Ponce Quadro electoral, I beg your pardon, area, forgive me if I butchered the name, in the Kia district, the EC under the leadership of Dr. Afarijan overturned an earlier declaration and declared the correct candidate as the winner. It further goes on to say again and states that in 2004, under Dr. Afarijan, who was the EC then, he also recollated parliamentary result in the Pru constituency, overturning the initial declaration in favor of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC candidate, who was subsequently declared the winner over the New Patriotic Party candidate. It didn't end there. The EC further went on to say, again, using the 2004 elections for an example, saying that the Tolan constituency result were also recollated and the correct candidate was declared the winner. Citing 2004 again, it says the recollation also took place in the Yape Kushegu constituency, leading to the declaration of rightful winner. Still in 2004, the EC cites that similar in the Zabzubu constituency, a recollation result in the correct candidate being declared as the winner also happened. So these are the precedent of re-election of results after declaration, and what the Electoral Commission today made mention, stating, in fact, they posted this on their pages, and it has sparked a lot of conversation. Some are actually asking questions. So does the CI then, and the regulations then still hold in this current electoral process that we have witnessed, or perhaps the EC is just trying to defend its move and have some tactical way of defending its quote-unquote mess that it has created? But still in the election, the director of elections of IT of the National Democratic Congress, Dr. Omane Boawam, has also criticized Ghana's Electoral Commission for its justification of decision to recollate election results in 9 constituencies. The EC had earlier emphasized that the move was not without precedent, citing examples from the country's electoral history. In response, Dr. Omane Boawam took to Facebook to express his dissatisfaction, describing the EC as criminal, incompetent, and biased. He argued that the EC's reasoning failed to acknowledge the different constitutional instruments that the CI have also governed similar cases in the past, rendering the justification invalid. The Facebook post read, and I quote, "This criminal election commission is both incompetent and biased. They don't even know or refuse to appreciate the different constitutional instruments that have governed some of these cases." Meanwhile, they've called for an emergency IPAC meeting after their mess, and that is what Dr. Omane Boawam earlier today posted on his social platform. And as I say now, I speak to you, the NDC is not happy about it. In fact, some say that they will still proceed with legal actions against the Electoral Commission because this is an illegality that the Electoral Commission has committed. And as I stated earlier, they posted on their platform trying to justify, as the NDC have touted, that the Electoral Commission is trying as hard to justify these criminal activities as they describe. We also want to go straight to the NDC's camp and better get some understanding of what they feel or have to say about this release by the Electoral Commission. Also, we will be engaging legal experts and also a government expert to do this. And joining us on Zoom on phone is Dr. I believe he's on phone now. We've been joined by Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. He is the Deputy Director for Elections and IT with the NDC. Doc, once again, we're grateful for your time.
Grateful.
First of all, I'm fine. But we believe that you have cited the release by the Electoral Commission now. It has also cited some instances of recollection in previous election, such as the 2004 election. Does the NDC accept the EC's justification?
Let me put it on record that this EC is a very lawless EC, and they are always perpetuating falsehoods. What they are telling is complete lies. Look, every election cycle has its own CI. 2004, there was a CI that governs the election, 2004. In 2012, there was another CI, as well as 2016. Every election cycle, there's a CI. That CI will govern the election. It will tell us what is expected of every political party in the Electoral Commission. So you cannot use 2004 CI and come and justify what you are doing under this current CI. This current CI came into force in 2020, signed by Madam Jim Mensah herself. There is nothing in this current CI who talk of recollection. So they should stop referring to past events. They are throwing dust into the general public and lying publicly. That is not the case. Look, the example they give in Tolong, there was no even declaration in Tolong. I was then the director of election for Northern Region, and I represented the NDC at the collation center, at the regional collation center, when they vandalized the collation process at Tolong. Our agents ran with the pinches, with the Electoral Commission also running, and they were all assembled at the regional collation center to recollect the results, because there was no declaration. They had not even finished the process. Just like what happened at Sawan Dodgery, and then how did they call this place? Afano Southwest and Afano North. Collation had not completed, and they vandalized the place. So they are perpetrating falsehood. We are referring to a situation where declarations are made The returning officers have made a declaration, and then you have not come back to say that I'm going to do another collation again, and then they brought in new returning officers to do new declarations again. That is what we are talking about. They should separate the two.
Doc, I just want to chip in this. Earlier, your director for elections, also Dr. Eduardo Manibuama, also criticized the release of the EC and even has gone ahead to say that this is a criminal justification. Is this the position the NDC holds?
Of course, this is a criminal justification, of course. What do you expect? They are trying to justify their action. Have they forgotten so soon of their letter of 2020? Where they told us that after declaration they cannot do any collation. Have they forgotten so soon of that letter? This criminal justification. And that's why I describe it as a lawless institution.
The recollating results is a way of correcting some measures. Don't you also agree that this is making the process more transparent and quite necessary for the fairness of the elections?
What is the essence of PNDC law 284? What is it for? Section 16 and Section 20. What is it meant for? Is it not to correct this kind of thing we are talking about? If there are issues with the declarations and other things, you know where to go. If you have problem with the declarations and all that, you know where to go. You know the environment to find redress to this. But you don't sit down and say you are using your own administrative procedure to overturn declarations where they don't have that power. Which of the laws in Ghana granted them that kind of power to sit in their offices and overturn declarations made by a returning officer? It is only the High Court that has that power. And that's what we are referring always to.
Dr. Tanko, again, I want to find out from you, does the NDC advocate for any specific reforms to Ghana's electoral system? Seems, there have been some, discrepancies even with the electoral process, and even to avert these from happening in future elections. What reforms do you think can be made in the electoral system? Very
soon you will hear from us. We are putting a comprehensive reforms together. Very soon. My boss is working on it. The directorate will come out in collaboration or with the relevant bodies in the party, will come out with a very concrete reforms that we think we must bring to bear on this current electoral commission, because the current electoral commission is a complete crime scene. What is going on is not good for our democracy at all, completely.
And what is the NDC going to do about it?
That's why I just mentioned that we are coming out with reforms. We'll put some reforms together, and the general public will all discuss it and see the way forward.
Dr. Tanko, thanks for your time this afternoon.
I'm grateful.
We were joined by the Deputy Director of Elections in IT, Dr. Rashid Tanko, and we're hoping to also be joined by governance expert, Dr. Frederick Ojo, to also have a further conversation on this. The Electoral Commission says that it is justifying the reasons for recollating some results, and the NDC, however, have said that this is a crime scene and must not be justified. We do have on the line Dr. Frederick Ojo, and he's going to help us with some governance conversation in the field of Dr. Ojo, good afternoon and welcome to ABC Midday. Hello, Doc.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I believe you have cited the Electoral Commission's release this morning, and it says that it is, recollation has not been something unprecedented. In fact, it has been done before. But I just want to find out from you, from a governance perspective, does recollation of results after initial declaration other well in the sanctity of the state?
Well, it should, because I'm of the firm belief that free and fair election does not occur only when the opposition wins or the minority party wins. Free and fair election is free and fair. Everything must be done transparently. Everything must be done without coercion. There should be no violence in a free and fair election. And a free and fair election must be based on rule of law. We had an election that was based on clear guidelines. There's a constitutional instrument back in it, CI 127, back in the election process. There are rules that were established by the EC based on discussions with the various political parties, agreement made at the IPAC. Based on that, one of the cardinal things that were to be done was that the elections ballots are cast and counted at their polling stations where political parties have got their agents, or where contesting candidates have got their agents. Beyond that, political party supporters or supporters of contestants do not have any role whatsoever in the process. The next level beyond the polling station is the collation center, where only the agents of those contestants are allowed to go and ensure collation is free. I don't think the Electoral Commission organized political party supporters or the EC organized people to go to the collation centers. It was the political parties that made announcement that they are being cheated. So their supporters should go to the collation center. And they went to mar an otherwise beautiful process. And the EC is coming out to say some of their officials were coerced into declaring results when they shouldn't have at the time they did. And is somebody saying it is not true that there were no political party supporters at the the collation centers destroying ballot papers, destroying even pink sheets and doing all manner of things that delayed the announcement of the results? So in the first place, should we accept what was done as the best that we could have done for ourselves, or the right thing that we could have done for ourselves? Within all these challenges, I think the Electoral Commission is trying to let the justice prevail by ensuring that those who actually won are declared. But the hypocrisy of the whole process is that the political parties themselves know who won and who lost. But it looks as if some people believe they can use force, they can coerce the system to ensure that they put their party members in place when they've not won the election. Be it as it may, let the rule of law prevail. I am a firm believer in the rule of law. If anybody feels they've been cheated, or if anybody feels they've not been treated well, the courts are there. The point is also that you can't say, I will use brute force as was happening in Parliament. We can't use brute force in this country. That is not the essence of a true democracy. So whoever feels the EC has done wrong should go to court. You can't say, I'm going to mass up my members, we'll go and beat you up and we'll put our people in place. Or they will go to Parliament and you beat them if the people who the EC has finally declared. My point is that I think civil society, including the media, should tell the truth. We should speak truth to everybody, whether they are in power or they are coming into power. That is what I think. There seems to be, for me, the country seems to be under a state of siege. The NPP, we all believe, has lost fair and square. But we shouldn't allow wrong things to be done just because a party has lost its election. So even if its member of parliament won in a particular constituency, they should be thrown away. It is not fair. And if civil society will fail to speak, this will be the continuation of our electoral process. In the next election will be coming. Whatever happens, I'm a Christian. I believe Christ will come one day. Until Christ comes, 4 years will come. And we'll go in for another election. And we'll see the kind of violence we witness. Because everybody will believe that it is only brute force that can help you to win an election. And that shouldn't be the case.
Doc, I just want to find out from you, looking at the justification the Electoral Commission brought out or cited, the NDC have even said that, look, this is an old precedent and the CI cannot be used or referenced in this current CI of an electoral process. But how can the EC also maintain its independence while ensuring that its actions, such as recollating or, any process, are perceived as fair and impartial, especially by the political parties and the general public?
No, I think the EC has a process of declaring an election. And the final stage of the declaration is the publication in the Gazette. That is what a lot of people don't want to look at. When election results are not gazetted, it is not deemed as having happened. Although we know the EC has declared President Mahama as the president-elect, the process requires a gazetting. That's what makes it finally legal. So if the EC is coming out to tell us that, yes, we made a pronouncement, and some people have heard people producing video evidence saying, oh, this was an announcement made by the EC. Yes, it was an announcement. But the EC is saying that when those announcements were made, they were not made based on what should have prevailed. What should have prevailed was that, one, there was no point in having, at which point in the CI did it say that political party supporters to go and mass up at the collation center? And this was the final point that the collation were made. And we saw it in all the videos that media houses, including your good self, showed that indeed there were chaos and anarchy at the collation center. So I need no soothsayer, or I don't need a prophet, as we have in Ghana, to come and tell us that there were chaos, there were intimidation, there were violence at the collation center. So it is very possible that somebody could have been coerced, because we saw ballot boxes being destroyed. We saw people making claims that they are bringing new ballot papers to count at the polling stations, which could not, at the collation centers, which could not have been so. So my view is that let the rule of law prevail. Even if the EC said there is a precedent to recollation, it is talking about people were making the claim that it has never happened before. And the EC is bringing out an argument to say it has happened in an election before. So if we feel the right thing was not done, if the EC made wrong pronouncement and now it's found the truth, should it not say it? These are questions we should ask ourselves as a country. For me, nobody can turn the elections for the MPP because they have lost. But they should not be cheated also, just because they lost a majority of the seats. So they should lose every seat. And their arms should be twisted and be given to the NDC or to other people because they must have done things that made them fall out to the Ghanaians. Those who won must be given their seats. It would be very unfair. The election would not have been free and fair just because the ruling government has been cheated. And this, for me, is what this could amount to if we all don't speak up and say the truth about what has happened. We all know it. We know the communication officer of a political party who announced their members should go and mass up at the collation center where they had no business. Because my firm belief is that by 10 p.m. of the on the election night, the political parties knew who had won and who had lost, because they had access to the pink sheets from the various polling stations, and they had done their collation and knew where they had won and where they had lost. Why did Vice President Baumia quickly come up in the morning of the Sunday, about 14 hours after close of polls or so, thereabouts, come out to say, yes, I concede defeat and I've lost? Because the parties have made their collation and they knew the results. Why are they not all speaking the truth and trying to put the blame on the EC? And you and I, if we understand the electoral process, knew that EC indeed could not have had the results as the political parties may. Because the EC, the transmission from the polling station to the collation center that the EC does is by a physical delivery by the presiding officers at the various polling stations. They will go to the collation centers and physically deliver the pink sheets for the constituency for the constituency, and even for the to the the returning officer at the constituency level.
Doc, finally,
so the EC could not have had the results at the time they were declared.
Oh, right, sure. Doc, finally, before I let you go, in your opinion, how does this affect the public trust in the electoral system? And perhaps what steps can be taken to rebuild some trust if these trust in the Electoral Commission is even eroded?
No, I mean, I maybe sounding like a broken record. I think let us all be law-abiding. If we can all learn to be law-abiding and do not see elections as a period that I must do everything by at all costs to win the election, whether fair or foul. And if people will agree to play by the book, we can avoid these things. Because the procedure, I mean, our electoral system, for me, is almost foolproof. If we obey the law and allow the system to work as it should, nobody can cheat anybody in an election in Ghana. And beyond using brute force, as we are seeing happening in some places, I don't think any other action can turn the will of the people.
Doc, we're much grateful for your time this afternoon. We have been speaking to Dr. Frederick Ojo. He's a governance expert on the back of the EC's, I should say, rebuttal to the recollation and redeclaration process, citing CI, the 2004 incident electoral process, and the NGC also citing this release as a criminal and injustice. We'll keep an eye on this conversation in subsequent broadcasting bulletin. But away from that, let's settle down onto some Christmas festive season celebration and some passengers at the VIP station at Kwame Nkrumah Interchange in Accra lamenting the overlong waiting period at the station as Christmas travels heightens. Commuters from Accra to Kumasi and other parts of the country have had to wait for close to 3 hours before they can get cars to board to celebrate and the festive season with family and friends. ABC News' Andy Opondenchi visited the station and spoke with some of the passengers. Let's take a listen.
I think we are around 6 There's a lot of tension here. Because a lot of passengers are not getting time to go to their various things that they want to do. And people they take it to, I don't know whether it's short or something like that. Because our bus like this, we said that we are waiting for another bus to come before we can go our bus to our place that we are doing. That we are waiting we start at the car. We say we start at the car. We don't know where the time we get to our various places.
I've been here since morning. I haven't even get a ticket to take my mask away.
So what's the challenge? Why have you got the tickets?
Many challenges are here. Many challenges. Even if the person comes, she makes you over here. But the person will get a chance to get a ticket and take his or a mask away. But I came nearly 5. But I'm here. Some of them met me here, but they are plans.
Christmas and so come. Sometimes here weekends some kids are at the best here. Like Friday, and Christmas so come. Before we enter, oh, don't be better. And see, the year can issue their track. Videos will allow until being for the idea. There were in the school of Korea or call one thing come on time 120. That's how it is top and I felt it's been now open to Bas. There were in Subanasa Wapilla, a manita for me on one casa for me.
Okay, my name is Israel Godfrey. I've been here for almost 4 hours. And since we came here, transportation have been a lot of issues. And you know it is Christmas. Majority of us are even relocating to a different place to enjoy Christmas. But for here, sometimes people take advantage of it by class and it has been leading for this to be there a lot. So you have been complaining, but you don't have any option. That's why we are here. We have been here more than sometimes people take advantage of it by class and it has been leading for this to be there a lot. So you have been
Well, that should tell you how busy today is going to be on some lorry stations. And my man on the ground, Andy Opondenchi, is live at some of the prestigious stations, I should say. He's been to the Circle, Kwame Nkrumah Circle interchange over there, bringing us some live report earlier this morning. And he's there again in other lorry stations to also bring us some live updates. But looking at the concerns that they have raised, they're saying that they are stranded. There's no car, or there are no cars available to transport them to their various destinations. Obviously, it's expected because they being 24th, a lot of pedestrians, I should say passengers, would want to also board to their various destinations, to meet their families and meet their loved ones. But this is quite worrying that, as you see on your screens, a lot of people packed with their items and luggages and, stranded with their families, and only God knows when they will be getting transport to board to their various destinations. But it looks quite worrying, and we want to engage authorities on to see how these would be mitigated. If you're watching us right now and you're thinking of maybe transporting to your destination, maybe you would have to you should have woken up quite earlier, because looking at the traffic situation and the human traffic itself alone, it's quite not so good. But our man on the ground has joined us via Zoom, Andy Opondenchi. Andy, what are some of the reasons passengers are giving for the long delays? Is it due to shortages of vehicles or the other factors resulting to this? Hello, Andy. Hello, Andy. If you can hear me, can you unmute yourself so we can hear you properly?
Hello, Melo. Can you hear me? I'm
Absolutely. Well, you proceed then. Proceed.
Sure. So as I stated, I'm here at 2M Express, where passengers are in a long queue waiting for vehicles to transport them to where they are going. Most of them are going to Kumasi, and based on my interaction with them in the early time that I got here, they made mention that a group of people are taking an increased amount from them to make them join a bus. So the expected amounts that they take from them this particular place is 110. But from my interaction with the passengers, I was informed that other people are taking 150 so that they could not join the queue, but join a bus, and then they go away. But
Andy, who are these unknown persons?
So these unknown persons are kind of also part of the people making sure that the passengers get a ticket. But from my interaction with the station master, Frank Owusu, he stated that it's not so. But I have the station master here, Frank Owusu, so that he could also let us know.
Before you speak to the station master, where are you stationed currently, so we know?
So I am here at the 2M Express. I'm currently at the 2M Express, where passengers are here to transport them to where they are going. So 2M Express is where I am currently. Hello, Melo.
Yeah, go on.
Exactly. So I'm here with the station master, that's Franco Usu, for us to better understand what's going on. Franco say, I beg your pardon. Sir, you are welcome to ABC News. I'm personally finding out long queue, passengers air train, any challenge, Is it any?
Hello, Andy.
But then,
Personal for no BF and more panic. Ramonton was in your from Minaka. What is your caravan? They said, one can be seen.
It's moon enough cast for her now.
You're not cast,
Okay, so Bello, if you heard the station master Frank say, he made mention that the vehicles are here, but yes, so a lot of the passengers are here waiting. So that is what is currently happening here at
Andy,
the 2M Express.
I would wish you could also engage some of the passengers so we can know how long they have been waiting on the average, because earlier looks like some of them look quite distressed, and we want to find out why they're still there.
How long our train will have? Hello. Okay. So coming out back. Okay, now Uba no kind here no be kwa na 1 hour consent and say bia. Okay, it is say no about 2 about 1. Open so call kwa na we already so be kwa. Ka o ha no kwa na. And she said, "Yeah, no, so wo queue. And then ya dia o pen tem akọ be bia o kwa obeka se car ho anye na wa ha ana." For now there is a class media about level. Okay. Sure. Mommy, obetimi na che time na ba 9:30. Okay. Okay. It's time over honey dear.
Andy.
It's what's in about 12:1.
Hello, Andy.
Yes. Hello, Melo.
Kindly also engage them, with the microphone so we can project your sound properly. We're unable to hear them properly.
Okay, so Melo, basically, getting the mic ready. What they are saying is that one passenger made mention that he got here at 9:30 in the morning, but when he got here, he wasn't ready to move or go to where he's going, so he didn't join the bus. But currently, he is ready to move, so he has joined the bus or the line so that he could join the bus so that he could go. One woman also narrated that she also came here at 9:30, but she's ready to go. Let me try and engage more passengers.
Andy, but before you do that, have you gotten any update about whether or not there will be some more buses provided to alleviate the situation? Because as it stands now, it's eating into probably late in the hour where traveling could be quite difficult, especially also that the Hamilton season is occurring. So have you gotten an update as to whether the station officers are making provisions of any buses for, transport issue?
Sure, Melo. In my interaction with the station master here at 2M Express, he made mention that there are vehicles that are coming. They are not in shortage of vehicles. There are vehicles here, just that the people are in line and they are in queue waiting. So with the matter of vehicles not being available, it is not so. To what the station master said, there are vehicles coming in.
And again...
So, could you share with me what time you came here, and has there been any challenge so far since you came here?
No, I've been here for about an hour.
Could you project for me?
I've been here for about
okay.
I think join the queue, but there are not enough cars for us.
Okay, so who told you to join the queue?
I just asked myself. I joined.
You joined yourself.
That one, I don't think there's somebody assigning to join the queue.
Sure. So Melo, the one I just engaged also made mention that when he came, he joined the queue to also get so that he can join the bus when it's ready. But let me engage more passengers. Please, what time did you come here? Welcome to ABC News Ghana. What is for you? But since you came, has there been any challenge so far? Yes, somewhere that there is no passenger. Okay, you prefer the 2M Express station. That's why you came here. But you can as well get from any other places. Okay. So,
Andy,
if you can still hear me, that's what one passenger is saying. He says he prefers the 2M Express station. And he came here to
Andy, we'll cross over once again back to you in subsequent bulletin, but do engage them, and also let's find out what the updates will be with regards to how authorities and stations facilities are holding up for this pressure, because we want to know that all transporters are really safe and go back to their various destination at peace and safe sound mind. That's my colleague Andy Opondenchi over there at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, engaging with some stranded passengers over there. Quite some worrying issue. Well, it's expected because today is 24th. Tomorrow is Christmas, so it's expected, but we'll keep an eye on that conversation. But still in the festive season, Henry Osumeni, the Deputy Director of Planning and Program at the National Road Safety Authority, has urged drivers using the Kumasi-Accra Road to reduce their speed and follow all temporary traffic measures due to ongoing road works. Speaking on ABC in the morning, Mr. Osumeni also advised passengers not to pressure drivers to speed up, especially during the festive Christmas season. He stressed that drivers should not disregard traffic regulations in an attempt to reach their destination quickly and return safely.
So use the road such that you are safe by yourself and also your neighbor is safe. So as we all go to the various terminals to board buses to our various destinations, we should make sure that passengers, we are not going to push the driver to speed. And as drivers, we are not going to disobey road traffic regulations on the road side that we want to go and come back early. If you are moving from here to Kumasi, we all know that some sections of the Kumasi road is being worked on. So there are a lot of road works on that road. As we approach those areas, we should have the caution. We should slow down. We should adhere to whatever temporary measures that have been, temporary traffic measures that have been put in place there. As passengers, too, when you are boarding a bus, you sit in the bus, you wear your seatbelts. In buses that we don't have these seatbelts. That is mostly for the short distances within the town, these short roads. When we sit inside, we make sure that we have sat inside at a very safe place and ensure that the driver also.
Away from that, let's do issues relating to education, and the Ministry of Education has released an additional 25 million Ghana cedis to the West African Examination Council, WAGEC, to support its operations and ensure the smooth and seamless continuation of marking activities. This financial boost aims to address the ongoing challenges faced by WAGEC and expedite the release of the 2024 West African Senior School Certificate Examination WASSCE result. Kwesi Kwarteng, the spokesperson for the Ministry of Education, in a statement issued on Monday, December 23, confirmed the release of the funds and assured the public that WAGEC has committed to releasing the WASSCE result soon. This move is expected to alleviate some of the financial pressures on WAGEC and facilitate the timely completion of the marking process. The additional funding comes as a relief to students, parents, and educational institutions who have been eagerly awaiting the results. And still on education, the Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei-Adichum, has stated that the 2024 WASSCE results will be released between 28th and 29th of December 2024. He mentioned that the figures circulating on the various media platforms are not right, but failed to mention the right figure. The Minister of Education is Owen Wayak. He also comments after Wayak disclosed that the debt owed by the Ministry of Education had delayed the release of the WASSCE results.
29th results will be out. We're on the same page with them.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
The 35 million, will it come? You owe them at least more than 100 million cedis.
Excuse me, you don't have the facts.
Okay.
So it's important that you get the facts before you confuse the public. Confuse the public.
And in more news of education, the Conference of Heads of Private Second Cycle School CHOPS has expressed serious concern over delays in releasing the 2024 West African Senior School Certificate Examination results for school candidates, describing the situation as avoidable. CHOPS criticized the government for failing to resolve the matter promptly, especially as private school students who have fully paid the WASSCE registration fees are being unfairly affected, quoting, "The delay is particularly alarming because universities across Ghana have January 2025 admissions deadlines, potentially jeopardizing the future of many students who depend on the result for entry," unquote. CHOPS further highlighted that the scanner breakdown not occurred, private schools would have requested the independent release of the result as they owed no debt to WAEC. The council called for immediate government actions to prevent further disruptions and alleviate the growing concern among private school administrators, parents and students. Quoting, "This situation is simply unacceptable. For 8 years, we have been excluded from participating in the free senior high school policy. Our classrooms have been left almost empty as parents face difficult economic decisions when choosing schools for their children." In code. Now, Chomps is calling on the government to urgently disburse the outstanding balance owed WAEC to ensure immediate release of the examination results. Away from education, let's do some politics. And President-elect John Dramani Mahama has expressed his deep passion for farming, stating that it remains central to his life and well-being, his primary focus upon retirement. During a visit to his farm in Yape and Bonsu in the Savannah region, Mr. Mahama shared insight into his agriculture pursuit and his own long-term plans. And the former president, who has diversified into crop farming and livestock, showcased his growing agricultural enterprise. On the crop side, Mahama farm produce maize, soybeans, supplying directly to Austria, Suchari, farms for poultry feed. The president-elect has also pleaded to address the struggles of farmers across Ghana, drawing from personal experience on his Savannah region farm. Mahama outlined his vision to tackle the systematic issues that hinder agricultural productivity, including the lack of irrigation, poor access to spare parts for machinery, and inadequate support services.
It's the harvest time. One of our combined harvesters is down, and they don't have the parts. They have to order them from outside. If we say we're waiting for them to bring the parts from outside, by the time the parts come, bushfire would have finished this crop. Happily, one of our neighbors has a good combined harvester, and that is what you saw me riding. We have hired it from him to come and help us, to be able to harvest all the crops before the fires come in. And that's why I believe that we must have farmer service centers where we have specialized agencies repairing and operating the machinery, and then let the farmer farm and let somebody provide him the service of the machines so that it doesn't have to be his headache. Today my headache is about this combined harvester, how to get a part. It should have been somebody's headache. And mine should just be to procure my seeds, get my fertilizers, and be able to grow my crops. And so it's a good experience, but farming is my life. I love it. And I'm sure if I didn't go into politics, I'll be a full-time farmer. In any case, when I retire, after this stint, of course I'm going to...
You're still watching ABC Midday. I'm Eric Trinibwatmelo. We stream live on YouTube. Remember that today is 24th. Tomorrow is 25th, so the Christmas edition is what we have, and you can also leave your thoughts and comments. Your well wishes will be welcome. But in more news, Felicity Ahafianyo, the head of Central Analysis and Forecasting Office, has urged the public to use air filters among other ways of staying safe during the Harmattan season. Speaking on ABC News GH, she mentioned that this year's Harmattan is more than last year's, hence caution should be taken when going out of your home. She also asked and sought for people to wear plain sunglasses for protection against dusty air.
Signs and symptoms of respiratory conditions like cough, painful swallowing, runny nose, chest pain, difficulty in breathing should report to the nearest health facility immediately, and drivers are advised to avoid overspeeding, especially on dusty roads and at night. And the public is advised to desist from bush burning activities.
President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic of Ghana, on December 23, 2024, commissioned Ghana's largest naval ship, the Ghana Navy ship Achimota, at the Sekindi Naval Base. The vessel, part of efforts to modernize the Ghana Navy, aims to strengthen maritime security, combat illegal activities, and protect the nation's resources. Speaking at the event, President Akufo-Addo highlighted his administration's commitment to enhancing the Navy's capability and vision for a resilient and innovative Ghana Navy built in 1999 by Japan's Kuruna company, the Ghana National Service Chimotam, is a 65.4-meter long vessel with a gross tonnage of 499 deep sea navigation. The president also announced plans to procure 2 additional 72-meter offshore patrol vessels to further boost operational readiness. Rear Admiral Isaiah Adam Yakubu, Chief of Naval Staff, and Defense Minister Dominic Nitu lauded the president's dedication to retooling the Navy, describing it as transformative for the country's maritime security. The commissioning was marked by a presidential fleet review showcasing the Navy's readiness and excellence. And in more news, a 21-year-old school dropout who sodomized an 11-year-old boy at Takwa railway station has been sentenced to 19 years imprisonment with hard labor by the Takwa Circuit Court. The convict Kojo Mumuni, who was charged with 1 count of defilement, pleaded guilty to the offense. Prosecuting Detective Sergeant Dominic Apiakusi told the court, presided over by Mrs. Hathia Ama Menu, that the complainant, 29-year-old woman, is the mother of the victim who had stopped schooling. He said Mumuni had no permanent place of abode but was often seen roaming at the Takwa railway station. The prosecution said on November 9, 2024, around 4:30 p.m., the complainant sent the victim to go and buy her charcoal from Takwa railway station. We are back with some business news. Do stay. And in business, Apiakusi Adomako, the West African Regional Director for CAT International, has urged customers to prioritize their safety this festive season by remaining vigilant when purchasing food product. In an interview on ABC in the morning, Adomako emphasized that customers are in the best position to provide the Food and Drugs Authority with information on expired or unsafe food product in the market. He stressed that it is the responsibility of consumers to report such goods, helping to ensure public health during the holiday period.
You can't have 4 or 5 years expiry date. 1 year, maximum 2 years. And so whatever thing that you are buying, I think that FDA can say everything, but FDA cannot force you to buy a product when you go to the market. And so the responsibility lies on the consumer to check whatever that you are buying, and if you realize that there's no expiry date on it, please don't buy it, because you may be buying.
Well, Mr. Kusi Adumako also urged the Food and Drugs Authority to strengthen its surveillance mechanism to maintain order in the food product sector and eliminate expired foods and safeguard public health in Ghana. He attributed the FDA's inconsistent enforcement effort to lack of resources.
Regulation gives the FDA the power to supervise the food and the markets sector. I think the main challenge is that enforcement is not regular, and this also boils down on resources. If FDA wants to put people on the street and onto the market all the time, that also may be a huge expense to them. So, sorry. So
we're back with sports after this. And in sport, Manchester United Old Trafford Stadium has been struck by a mice infestation, resulting in a significant drop on its food hygiene rating from 4 stars to 2. Health inspectors discovered mouse dropping in a ground-level corporate suite on a food kiosk on on a concourse during a recent infestation inspection. Now, while these areas are not used for food preparation, the findings have prompted immediate action from club officials and health authorities. The infestation is linked to Old Trafford's location between a canal and railway line, with the problem worsening during winter as pests seek warm. Pest controllers are now visiting the stadium up to 5 times a week to tackle the issue. The iconic venue, originally built in 1910 and last renovated in 2006, has faced increasing maintenance challenges, including leaks during heavy rainfall. The situation adds pressure on United owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who has formed a task force to evaluate the feasibility of building in the stadium. This latest setback comes amid a difficult period for club both on and off the pitch as they look to address concerns as their historic home. Trust me, Manchester United will fix this problem in no time. I believe in that. But we'll be back with some international updates. Do stay. Mozambique's Constitutional Council has upheld the result of the controversial October election, cementing the ruling Frelimo party half-century grip on power despite widespread protests and accusations of vote rigging. The court's ruling on Monday validated the victory of Daniel Chapo as president and confirmed Frelimo's increased majority in parliament. This decision is expected to intensify protest in the southern African nations of nearly 35 million people. The election has been marred by allegations of fraud, which opposition leader Vinicio Mondale claimed a separate count showed he won. Western observers have also criticized the election, describing it as neither free nor fair. Post-election protests have grown into the largest demonstrations against Frelimo in Mozambique's history. According to civil society groups platforms Decide, the least 130 people have been killed in clashes with the police, and 47-year-old Chapo, said to become Mozambique's first president born after independence from Portugal in 1975, will officially resume office on January 15, succeeding Felipe Nyusi. As tension also escalates, all eyes remain on Frelimo's next step and the opposition's response in the nation struggling with poverty despite its rich natural resources. We wrap up with some entertainment updates. Do stay. An entertainment veteran, Nollywood actor Kanayo has sparked conversations on social media with his recent remarks about young women prioritizing relationship with older wealthy men over meaningful connections with younger suitors. On Sony Araba live show on News Central, the actor drew attention to the plight of 23-year-old undergraduate who often dismiss genuine love for their peers in favor of financial gains from sugar daddies. He described a progression of regret, noting that by 28, these women may become prayer points, seeking husbands, and by 35, they enter a state of emergency, hoping for divine intervention to secure a partner.
A young girl will be in the university at 19, 18, 19, 20. She starts dating a very rich guy.
Sometimes very old too.
Sometimes very old. Then, what you see along the line is that because the guy is very rich, maybe married, she refuses advances of other younger people to her. Because this guy has either gotten her a car and a house. So to her, she's operating at a very high level.
Okay.
From 22, she goes on to 24, and maybe even if she quarrels with this guy, she gets the next guy. Before you know it, she turns 25, 26, unmarried, because she's refusing the advances of younger prospective husbands.
That's a very serious one.
I'm telling you of a story I treated. It's called After 33. Now, she gets into 29, 30. By that time, she has left the university. And men are no longer maybe finding her that attractive. So she gets into 31, husband is not coming. And what do you have? At 23 is a flex. Okay. At 28, Uncle Sonny, she becomes a prayer point. At 33, she is now declared a state of emergency. Chineke. Because husbands will not come at that level of 33 years. And some of them get to 35. And you see them, and you still think.
Well, the legendary actor has spoken, and you can take their advice if you wish, but I might not ask you in this conversation. But that's all for the package. That's all for the package this afternoon. I am Eric Melo. Today is 24th. Let's know if you're traveling. Please be safe with your travels, and drivers would also advocate for a safe journey. Don't have to drive fast to your destination. Drive safe so you can also make sure that your passengers are safe. But on that note, we close the bulletin.